Hey, on this video, I'm going to break down my 3 biggest nutritional mistakes when it comes to eating seemingly healthy foods. Yo, what's going on? My name is Ruslan, hip-hop artist, creative entrepreneur. This channel exists to encourage, empower, inspire you to live out God's dream for your life. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. Salute to all the Patreons that keep everything going and all you guys that rock with the content. So this video is going to be a little different. It's a new year, it's a new you, New Year's resolutions. The gyms are going to be packed tomorrow. It's a good time to try and make some changes, set some goals for 2019. I'm not mad at that. So I'm going to be talking about my 3 biggest nutritional mistakes that I've made on my journey to becoming more healthy, more fit. As some of you guys know, just a couple months ago, man, I weighed almost 200 pounds. I'm down to about 175. I still got a couple pounds to go to get to the weight I want to reach. But there's a lot of people that I see in the gym. Every single day I'm in the gym, I see people in the gym who are working out hard. I see them even there consistently, but you could just tell they're not really getting the results they want. They're not getting the V-tape shape that a lot of guys are looking for. They're just not getting those results. And I was in the same boat, man. I was going to the gym so consistently, so regularly, and it was because my nutrition was off. My nutrition was messed up. And so on this video, we're gonna go into that specifically. Healthy, big mistakes that I was making that I didn't quite understand that I was making. And so I see people in the gym, sometimes trainers, sometimes really dudes that are really strong, and they're just not getting the results that they want. Or maybe they are getting the results that they want. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But I've been able to adjust some stuff on my diet recently that really just transformed everything and helped me see results. So let's go over here. Now, things really started changing for me when me and my wife decided to do this thing called Whole30. Basically a paleo diet for 30 days, no sugar, no grains, no dairy. And that's usually the way I eat with a few adjustments here and there. So the first biggest mistake that I learned that I was making was drinking shakes. Now, shakes are relatively healthy, right? Because you're using fruit, you're using maybe some type of water or milk. I put peanut butter in this joint. But here's the deal. I learned this in Whole30 and it didn't really hit me until later that drinking your calories isn't the best way to go about it, because this right here is about 450 calories, and I'm drinking it because I ended up playing myself and getting some really gross tasting whey protein. It's not too bad. I added some peanut butter to it. This is about 450 calories just in the shake alone. The better alternative to get away from drinking your calories and actually just consuming the nutrients directly is just drinking the protein directly. This and water, that's all you really need. I was drinking a lot of shakes. I was using like meal replacements from things like Vega, and it just wasn't good. It was just too many calories. I was drinking my calories, and I was starting my day with just a gang of fructose sugar, natural sugar, but still a gang of fructose sugar. Now, salute to Garden of Life. They hooked me up with some of their protein. I am not a vegan. Those of you guys that really know me, I kind of laugh at vegans, but they have plant-based protein, which I try to do plant-based protein. This stuff right here is awesome. Chocolate, it tastes delicious. And this is their Fit. I actually got on this to help curb my appetite because I couldn't get just that feeling of cravings under control. So I got this stuff, it was good, and that's what I do. So instead of drinking a shake with a bunch of fruit, a bunch of fructose, a bunch of other stuff, you probably add milk to this, or who knows what you're adding to it. I remember, I had a homie that was like legitimately adding sugar to his shake. I was like, that is so counterproductive. You're trying to get healthy, but it's not really healthy. Now, the second thing that the biggest mistake I made is I was eating these bars. Now, this is actually a Lara bar. It's actually pretty good. It's only 6 ingredients, but you guys probably, those of you that follow me on Instagram, you should follow me on Instagram. I was eating so many of these daggone Lara bars all the time. When I was on the road, this was like my go-to. And the truth is, like, this Lara bar right here, if you look at the ingredients, it's actually natural, but this little bar right here is 200 calories and it has 24 grams of protein. Now I'm gonna unpack protein in a little bit, but this is not a lot of bang for your buck. So what I started doing is I replaced these and I started eating these sugar-free beef sticks. One, there's less calories in them, so there's only about 100 calories, and this is just straight protein, straight stuff to help you build muscle and really keep you satiated. So I eat these. These are about $1 a piece. I get these at Sprouts. They're $1.50, and they're pretty, you know, they're a little bit more expensive, but they're good. They taste delicious. It's like a Slim Jim. So if I'm having a snack, I'm not eating bars. The truth is you probably shouldn't be eating bars of any kind, even if you're eating protein bars, because if you look at the ingredients, there's probably as much sugar, not in these, but much sugar in a protein bar as there is in a candy bar. So you're really just eating a candy bar and calling it a protein bar. So just get rid of the bars. If you need a healthy snack on the go, beef sticks, these are awesome. Now, the third biggest mistake that I've made. Oh, and this one's so hard to give up. I'm telling you guys, I struggled for a long time giving this up. And I was just in the grocery store recently trying to find some healthy bread. But bread, man, this is healthy bread. This is me and my family eat multi-grain bread. They have some, you know, some protein in it. Here's the crazy part, guys. 120 calories a slice, 25 grams of carbs a slice. Only 5 grams of protein, 25 grams of carbs a slice. And it's processed, and there's yeast and all kinds of stuff added to it. So I had to give up bread. I gave up bread this year. One of the best decisions I made. And the idea is that, like, yo, a slice of this is not a lot of food. I was putting butter on it, toast, sandwiches. A lot of us eat bread, right? I gave the bread up. In exchange for bread, sweet potatoes. I freaking love sweet potatoes. I eat sweet potatoes every single day. It's a complex carbohydrate, meaning it's not a plain carbohydrate. It's not processed. It's just straight, just what you see there. It's a sweet potato. They taste delicious, and I have 1 or 2 of these for breakfast every day. This is where I get my carbohydrates from. This is where I get those nutrients from. It's a vegetable, right? I gave up the bread, started eating sweet potatoes. Now, you're probably wondering, Ruslan, you're talking a lot about carbohydrates. And do you not do carbo? Are you a keto guy? Are you an Atkins guy? No, I'm not a keto guy. I have my carbohydrates. I get carbs just from healthy, clean sources. And the idea, the biggest mistake that most people are making holistically, if you're trying to get in shape, you're trying to get ripped, you're trying to get shredded. My mistake that I started out with is I thought, oh, I'm 195 pounds. If I could just be 195 pounds and 10% body fat, then I'll be healthy. The reality is 195 pounds, 5'10", 5'11", 10% body fat. It's almost impossible to reach that physique unless you're on steroids. So I started just with the backwards thinking, not understanding what is genetically possible, that like the most elite of the elite athletes, natural athletes, can get to that. So you can't really burn fat and build muscle at the same time at that kind of rate, where I was just gonna, boom, decrease my body fat, increase my muscle, I'll be 195 pounds, 10%. I had to first lean out. You get smaller to look bigger. Right now, I've lost 20 pounds from where I started. I'm smaller, but I actually look bigger. And I'll post the before and after photos. People see me and they're like, yo, you're getting big, you're getting swole. It's like I'm not. I'm actually losing a lot of weight, but I'm building muscle as I'm getting leaner, and I'm developing that V-tape shaper that so many guys are after. So the objective, the biggest thing that most of us aren't doing, those people that are in the gym, they're personal trainers, they know how to work out, but they can't get it right, is we're not eating enough protein. That's the big idea, is we're not eating enough protein. And so here's my protein for the week. All this right here costed me less than $20 to make. We have, and I meal prep, just so you guys know. I made all this yesterday, so I have it for the week. I have some chicken thighs. I love how these taste. I season them myself, just salt and pepper, Himalayan salt to be specific. These taste amazing. This is like my protein treat with some healthy fats. I have my wild-caught salmon. That is amazing protein for you. It's clean, it's wild caught. I know where it's coming from. I know some of you guys that are plant-based kind of freak out in terms of like the meat or whatever. I feel good eating this stuff. And I also have some wild caught Aldi tuna. This stuff is awesome. It tastes great. It's easy to make. All this protein right here, this will pretty much last me for about the full week. All this protein right here, I got at Aldi's for $20. I eat about 3 pieces of fish a day, probably like 3 or 4 of these smaller pieces of thighs, and I usually rotate in. This is a little bit more expensive. This wild caught ahi tuna. I'll rotate this in every couple days. And my goal, and the goal that I would recommend everybody, if you're trying to really refine your nutrition, you go into the gym, you're trying to get in shape, and you're not eating right, like that's like trying to play basketball with some Chucks on. Like you could do it, and you might be decent if you got Chucks on, but it's gonna hurt more, it's gonna hurt your feet, it's not gonna make sense, you're not gonna be efficient. Get your nutrition cleaned up. And my biggest advice, the biggest takeaway I want you guys to have, these are kind of like more advanced styles of eating, I guess you could say. I don't think they are. These are just stuff I eat every day. To me, it's normal. But the biggest mistake people are making is they're not getting enough protein and they're not getting enough water. So every single day, I drink a gallon of water a day and I get my body weight in grams of protein. That's what I try to shoot for. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. The protein keeps me satiated. It keeps me full. It keeps me feeling like I'm not always hungry. The water also keeps me satiated. And then I moderate the amount of carbs I'm getting because one, I'm getting clean carbs. So my carbs are coming from vegetables. They're coming from sweet potatoes. They are coming from kale. They're coming from broccoli. They're coming from stuff like that. And they're not coming from processed foods like, they're like bread. And they're not coming from drinking them from sodas or even shakes, right? Or juices, like all that stuff is gone. It's just water and clean food. So those are my 3 biggest mistakes that it came to nutrition. Those really derailed me. I know they seem insignificant. You're like, man, you're eating lard bars and it's healthy food, but it jacked me up, man. And once I started getting the protein intake up, I started meal prepping. Once I started eating more complex carbohydrates like sweet potatoes, all of a sudden, the needle radically started to move in the way my body looked and how much strength I was able to build. So, man, hopefully those things help you. Hopefully you have some physical fitness goals for 2019, as well as financial goals and spiritual goals and all those other areas. But this hopefully gives you some direction in terms of what you should and should not be eating. Get that water intake up. Get that protein intake up, get rid of those processed foods, and hit that gym, man. Get active, get fit, get focused. So in the comments section below, I want to hear from you guys. How is your nutrition going right now? What are you eating? What have you been able to cut out? What are you hoping to get more of? Do you need to improve your protein? Do you need to drink more water? Let me know. I can't wait to hear from you guys. Peace.